Hi, this is Mark from SMPostcards again. So today's video, I'm going to go over a few things. First, I'm going to go over what postcards that buyers purchase from our eBay and Etsy store. I'm going to show you the card, the front and the back, and where it's going to be shipped to. The next thing, I have a special topic today, is mechanical postcards. What are they? A little history, and I have some examples to show you. Also, I have a postcard term and definition. Album marks. Those little triangle spots you see on the back of vintage postcards, what are they? And how much damage can they cause to a card? And then I have a short video, one of our unpublished videos so far, of a German church in Grant Park, Illinois, circa 1924. Now that's not Grant Park, Chicago. This is a village, a little town in the northeastern part of Kankakee County, about 50 miles south of Chicago. Is the name of the town, Grant Park, and this German church was raised in 1924. So I'll show you that video. Get started with these cards. We sold 11 cards on eBay, we sold 4 cards on Etsy, and 0 on Hip. Our normal percentages across the 3 sites that we sell postcards on is 80% eBay, usually 15% on Etsy, and 5% on Hip. So Etsy and Hip are a lot slower than eBay. But over a year's time, it does pay it for itself, and it is worth the time. It's building every day, every year. So the first card that's sold on eBay is what they call a banner card. This is the Greetings from Hollywood, California. That's a banner card right there when they have these banners going across there. It's a chrome card. Collectors do collect these banner cards when they go along there like that. You'll see them in larger letter and type things, but a lot of places said, greetings from, and they mass produce these cards. It's on posted card, and it's sold for $4.45, and it's going to Austria. So this is going to be packaged up and going international. Now the next card that I sold was Entering Blue Ridge Parkway. It's a chrome card, and it's the entrance to the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. Now, in my last video from last week, I did sell another Blue Ridge Parkway, so it's becoming a pretty common card to sell at this price. It's an unposted card. It's a chrome card. Not a lot of wear on the corners. Not too bad of a card. So this card sold for $4, so this was an offer to a buyer. We send offers all day, every day, whenever eBay brings them up for 10%, and they sell for about $4. And this is going to Ann and Clyde, North Carolina. It sold is the Skybridge in Daniel Boone National Forest, Kentucky. This is a chrome card, and there's the Skybridge right here. It goes across the top there, and it has a split view of the two. This is a chrome card. It's not posted. This is going to Syax name. And it's in Leesburg, Virginia is where this is going, and it sold for $4.45. Okay, the next card that sold is a Town Beach, Westbrook, Connecticut. So this is a beach. I see some wooden boats out there, and the swimsuits look like the 50s or 60s. There's some wooden boats in the swimsuits, and that's the Town Beach. This is 1964. So this was posted in 1964 with a 4-cent stamp right on there. Nice cancel, but there was some writing on there. This sold for $4.45 and going to John in Roselle Park, New Jersey. On eBay, and then I'll get into the special topic of mechanical postcards and what are they. So this next card is a vertical card. I call them vertical because I don't do this. It goes like that. I'm not for sure if it's all official term, but it's just vertical to me. Broken Top Mountain, Deschutes National Forest in Oregon. This is a linen card. Now that yellowing around here, that's part of the gold thing. It's not a yellowing from age. Got a nice creak. And there, someone put a mark on the stamp box here, but it's not canceled. So that's a linen card. This is going to Terrell for $4.45 in Seattle, Washington. Now, as I go through these, what cards that people bought, it's not about what I sold or how much dollars I made. It's to show you a variety. I had like 4 or 5 chromes, and now I got a linen. And these are pretty basic view cards. The other one was a banner card. So as you go out and look for postcards, you can kind of know in your head, you know, $4 to $8 I can get for that card as you're going through the box. So if you're buying a box of postcards for $25 and you thumb through them, add up in your head, okay, I found 20 cards that I know would sell for $5. That's $100. So if you didn't see these cards that I'm showing you, maybe you weren't sure, well, that one, so you'll skip them, and then you only come up with 5 cards in the whole box, and you missed out. So that's what this is about, and to show you a little bit about the card that it sells. But we had chromes, we had linens, we had banner cards, we had Hollywood, we got mountains. So all of these will sell. Okay, I've said this so many times. Asian companies, Caribbean, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Guam, Bahamas, always look for those. I'm always, when I see those in a box, you know, I get kind of excited because I know they're going to sell. They don't sell for high dollars, but it's a sale. It's a ka-ching on your phone. You know, makes your day. This one was a pretty cool card. Burning cane before harvest. It's in Hawaii, and they're burning the sugar cane before the harvest. I guess they burn the leaves off or something. I'm not for sure what they do with sugar cane, but that's what it is. Burning cane, which is the sugar cane, before harvest, and it's an unposted chrome card. But that's another Hawaii card that sold. I always look for Hawaii cards, the Puerto Ricos. They do sell a little quicker. You know, they're not priced up like I said, but it's a ka-ching, which you want to hear. You want to get some kind of dollars coming in. So this sold for $4, which was an offer to Christy, and it's going to Puyallup, Washington. She's a return buyer. So thank you, Christine. So now I'm going to get into the special topic for this video. And I try to pick a special topic every video to go over. I have a lot more videos coming up that have a special topic in them that kind of show, you know, pays forward my knowledge on some things. I do some research on these cards beforehand, so make sure I get it right. I'm not an expert in anything. So this special topic is mechanical postcards. What is a mechanical postcard? Is it a machine? No. So here's the definition of a mechanical postcard, and I'll put it down here for you as well. Mechanical card. Postcard that has moving parts. That's key. Postcard that has moving parts. Derived from the 19th century paper novelties. These cards have many different types. They have die-cut appendages, sliding panels, wheels, which I have an example of each one of those that I'm going to show here in a second, that modify the image, for example. Their unique qualities were largely used in an attempt to attract customers in a market saturated with postcards. Wow, it got back to business. Knock out your competitor. Get the edge. You know, that's what I always try to preach here is, what are you doing different than the card that's shown next to you? Do you offer next day shipping? Are you free shipping? Are you got good pictures? Do you ship in one day? Is your price competitive? You know, so they're trying to attract more customers in a market saturated with postcards. eBay has over almost 9 million postcards listed. How are you going to get your postcard on there? That's what they're doing here with the mechanical postcard. Many of these cards were very fragile, and few come down to us today in perfect working order. So the cheaper made ones didn't make it too far. I've seen pieces of them and stuff like that, and people try to repair them. I'm not that guy to do that. So mechanical postcards, the prices that I did some research on, I went out and looked at the average, they normally sell between $5 to $20. Now there are some very unique postcards that can go into 50s to hundreds of dollars, but those are few and far between that I can see selling the places that I checked. I have seen a couple in an antique mall that were just, you know, $60, $200. They weren't really worth that to me, but maybe somebody knows something about the publisher, the subject, but most of the cards that I see are $5 to $20. So the first one is die-cut appendages. Remember, die cut is anything that's not a rectangle. So this card here is a mechanical postcard. And you're saying, where's this guy's head? Right here. So his head is mechanical because part of the definition, a postcard that has moving parts. So his head moves up and down and it turns like this, and it's a die cut because it's not a rectangle. And on the back here you can see how they do that. They use little metal pins to move, to allow that to happen. And this is a, this card is on very good stock. It has solid pins in it, so it made it. And to put it in an envelope, you would just turn his head down and it'll fit into an envelope. And then when the people got it, they were able to move around. So it is a novelty, and that's a die cut mechanical postcard. The next one I got is what they call a sliding panel, or opening the door. This is a kind of a heavy cardstock, but it's got a front on here, and then when you open the door, a little piece of paper, there's a lady putting makeup on. So that's a mechanical postcard because the definition states postcards that have moving parts. So that, and this paper here is really thin. It's like almost like a magazine type grade of paper, and this is a thicker card. This was posted in 1912, so this is a divided back card, and this little piece of paper has made it. But you can see the lady in there putting makeup on, and it says, "It makes any woman blush." And you open it up and she's putting makeup on. So that's a mechanical card because it has a moving part. The next one is probably one of my favorites that I got on there, and this goes to the wheels to modify the image. So this is a very heavy cardstock. It's a couple layers because they put these wheels in there. So up at the top here it says birthday greeting. So if I put it on the 18th right up there, and then I put it in, then I pick the month. So I pick the day on this wheel, and then I pick the month with this wheel, and say I set it to November. So November 18th, I can pick the month and put it in the envelope when that birthday was. So that's a wheel that modifies the image. And it's a very well done card. It is embossed. I can feel, it's a raised relief on it. So it is embossed, but if you notice, you can't see it on the back because there's a couple layers to this card. I can actually see in there. You can kind of see that there's a couple layers. It's real heavy cardstock, that's why it lasted. But these wheels turn very well. There's no issues with this card at all. But that's the wheel one. So mechanical postcards, who knew? So if you see them when you go out, they do sell higher than the other cards if they're in good condition. Let me go back and go through some more of these cards, and the next thing I'll go through is the postcard definition. What is an album mark? We'll get to that in just a minute. So this card is Edgewater Beach Cottages, Lake Arrowhead, California. Nice blue chrome card with the thing on there. There's some cottages down in here. Good looking card, chrome card. And this sold for $4.45 full price, and it's going to John and Laguna Niguel, California. Now all these cards that I've been packing and shipping today, every one of them so far has been eBay standard envelope. That's doing just fine so far for me. Another Hawaii card. This one is Haleakala Crater on Maui, Hawaii. So another Hawaiian card. I'm still saying what I say. Find those ocean, Asian, Caribbean, tropical cards, and you'll get a ka-ching. Not guaranteeing it, but they always sell. Just amazing. This is another card going to Christy in Pollock, Washington. So she's a return buyer, and it sold for $4. So thank you, Christine. Now we saw a lot of chrome cards today. We saw some linens, we saw a banner card. Now you're going to see an undivided back card. Here's the writing tab. There's only the address can go on the back there. This is along the Rockaway River, Boonton, New Jersey. So that's just a picture of there, but that's where they would write their message, because they can't back then there. When these cards came out, you're only supposed to put the address on the back. So this is an undivided back card. So we had a good chrome, linen, banner, Hawaii, undivided backs. This sold for $4.45. It's going to Claire in Jersey City, New Jersey. Now this next item is not a postcard, but also in our postcard store we have trading cards and different things. And these are those Garbage Patch Kids. This is Swiss Chris, if you see in here, and this is from 1987, and this sold for $4.95, free shipping, and it's going to DQ Miller in Houston, Texas. So that's a little card, and this will ship for under an ounce with eBay standard envelope. No difference really than a postcard, that it's smaller. It's kind of a sticker like, but I've been doing pretty well with these Garbage Pail Kid things. I've already made my money back on them, on the ones I bought. I bought maybe 100 of them, and I have them all up online for sale. So I've sold this card before, maybe different variations, you know, sideways ones or whatever, linen ones. But the Legend of the Dogwood, which is the state flower, I think, in full bloom. This is from Natural Bridge, Virginia. It's a chrome card. It's a heavier stock card, but you see the Legend of the Dogwood, just like the Legend of the Spanish Moss or desert cactuses. Flowers, the bird of paradise for Hawaii, any kind of orchid. People use those, and I have a video coming up to show you what people do with postcards. A lot of people do scrapbooking. They make crafts. They frame them. One guy collects just all the golf holes that he's golfed at, special holes at different courses. Another guy does all the baseball stadiums. One guy collects rhinoceroses, only purple ones. Another one does, you know, Illinois cards, Abraham Lincoln cards, Washington D.C. cards, post offices, banner cards. There's so many niches that people get into, you never know. So if you try to figure out what people want to buy, that's what I'm trying to do here, is help to show you what people are looking for. Now, can you get a little bit more than $4.45 for this card? You can try, whatever the market will bear. We found to be competitive at $4.45 price is good for us. With our margins so far, it's meeting our expenses and everything like that. So this sold for $4.45. It's going to Cynthia in Waynesville, Ohio. For postcard terminology, to learn postcards as best as you can, you need to understand the terminology. You need to talk. I go through these definitions all the time. When something comes up I don't know, I go look and see what they mean by it there. Some people call some things one thing and I call it another. That's the crossover in collectible world, but you'll see them in postcards, a lot of crossover. But today's term is album marks. What is an album mark? And I'll put it down here as well. Album marks is the damage to postcards by albums that they were once stored in. So damage to postcards by the albums they were once stored in. Years ago, mostly what I've read, it was a woman of the family would take the postcards and they would put them in these albums. And they'd have these little triangle corners that they would slide them into. And that was their entertainment. That's how they did at night around the fire or the candlelight, is look through the postcards and talk about their trips or where they want to go, just to discuss some things. In 1908 alone, over 600 million postcards were mailed. So in 1908, over 600 million postcards were mailed. Now, those are the ones that they could track, or they measured. And back in those, they didn't have computers and stuff. So I'm not for sure exactly if it was all by hand. So you got to give and take a lot. Plus, people wanted to save on shipping, so they would put 3 or 4 postcards into an envelope. So they're thinking this number is a lot higher than what they first came up with. So over 600 million postcards in 1 year were mailed. It did tail off after that, down, but the height of the postcard era you're talking millions. There's billions of postcards out there, millions of sellers out there, millions of buyers out there. The market is so huge. So that's where they used to store these postcards, is in these albums. The damage you normally will see is the diagonal embossing across the card's corner caused by the pressure of the flap that secured the card in the album page. So you'll see the cards on here, and I have an example right here, kind of. I don't have one with the corners. I don't keep a lot of those cards. I usually bring them to the flea market, and I have a gentleman out there that usually buys them. But this is kind of an example of one. You can see the little paper left from the album that it was in right there, and there's a little bit stuck down on the bottom here. Now I won't list this card. I don't do these types of cards with those types of marks. It's just a little bit more damage than I want to put in my store. I do have some kind of level of quality, but that's what you'll get. But most of the time you'll see a triangle in the corner there from the pressure of that flap. This may be accompanied by dark marks along the edges. Sometimes on the albums you'll get the edges around where they start going in, which was transferred by the dye in the album pages. Back then, in those days, they didn't know about the acids and stuff, so it'll bleed into the card on the back, or from the cards that were on top of it, or the pages will wear and yellow the card. So the acid can also be transferred to the front of the card by this, leaving behind triangular yellow corners, and that's what those corners are. Some postcards were glued into these albums, and parts of the pages may be stuck to the card's back when removed. That residue can continue to damage the card. So here's an example. Nice front postcard. This is Sunshine Skyway Bridge in St. Petersburg, Florida. But look at the back. That's all glued on paper, and it's just sitting there, and that could continue to deteriorate the card. So I will not list this card. One time, from one of the biggest buyers or sellers, I went out and I was on a goal to find the ugliest postcard I could find that was for sale. I bought this postcard for $6. It was worse than this. It had tears, rips, it had stuff on the front. They actually put that up to sell. When I got that in there, I was like, what? They actually sold this card. So people are, it's like puppy mills. They're just mass producing these things. But I will not list this card. That'll go in the flea market. And some of the cards are so damaged that I can do nothing but, destroy them by shredding them or whatever. But that's the glued stuff on there. The other one that you'll see a lot of too is the little glue spots here on the back. The front looks fine, but it's got the glue spots on the back. I won't list this card either. So, but the album marks kind of cover a wide thing, but you'll hear about glue marks, archiving marks, but album marks was the term that I found, and that's what it is the damage to postcards by albums they once were stored in, and when people take them out. So when you're buying postcards, be careful when you're looking through albums and you're going to buy the album book. You want to see if you can pull the card out of there and see how much damage are done to them. If they're glued in there, you might have to sell the album as a whole, or if you want to take them out and reframe them. But I'm very careful about postcard albums. But those are those postcard albums, the small ones at estate sales, or you find them at a flea market. Those are great because they're special cards. They took time to put them in there, and some of them can be really good cards. But if they're glued in and they come out looking like that, lost cause for me. But that's album marks. Now, I had 4 cards sold on Etsy. One of them was a multi-order. This card is the State Street at Night Showing Trolleys, Chicago, Illinois. Now, whenever you have like trolleys and stuff, I try to put that in the title. This card does have a crease across the middle, and in the description I did put crease midsection, bend, crease, whatever. But it's a nice card. This is a divided back card. It's got a 1 cent stamp box on there. It does have a little flea market pricing here. I don't take those off. I leave it up to them. I'm not the best at that. There maybe are, but that's a nice. It's got the trolleys. So this card actually sold for $4.45. I would have probably priced this card up maybe $6 or $7, maybe a little higher, but with that crease, it's just, you can kind of see it there a little bit. It just, the damage brought the value down because it's right across the middle of the card, but it did sell. It is, and now if the customer's not satisfied with this card because of that, and they're buying a flat image from a flat picture, we have no hassle returns. They can always return the card. So once they get it, but very rarely happens. And this is going to Jamie in Chicago, Illinois, which is real close to me, only about 50-60 miles north. Order on Etsy was a 2-card order. David purchased 2 cards. The first one was Lower Yellowstone Project, and these are nice solid cardstock. These are divided back cards, almost look hand colored. There's some people standing there looking at the Lower Falls in Yellowstone Project. I'm not for sure what it means by project. Then the next one was a glimpse of the Yellowstone River, Montana as well. So basically the same area. There's some railroad tracks and there's just a glimpse of the Yellowstone River in the back there. And this is a divided back card too. And these are on nice heavy stock. These are very well maintained cards. Probably couldn't really tell you in the early 1900s. But these sold for $4.45 a piece. Whole order was worth $8.90. It's going to David in Helena, Montana. Thanks. I'm going to go ahead and show you the short video. This is the German church in Grant Park, Illinois. Now Grant Park is not, like I said, not Grant Park in Chicago. This is about 50-60 miles south. It's northeast or southeast of Chicago. It's a village, Grant Park. It's where, not too far from me at all. And this is a church from it was built in 1924. We own all the cards that we do these short videos for, but that's the church. And if you notice up at the top here, they have some openings. That's not there anymore, and on the side, and there is some changes to it. So we go out and we get the postcard, and we go find a place and take a picture. And that's what this is. So they did add onto it the rectory for the parish is still there, but they did enclose these steps and added some other things. They did upgrade the windows over time, but it took us a few moments to understand where this was at. And it's a divided back card, 1-cent stamp, and that's what it is. But here's the video. Okay, hope you enjoyed that video. We have more coming. There's already a good half a dozen or so in our playlist under short videos, past and present. You can click on that playlist and they'll all play. They're all under a minute. Some are even 30 seconds, 40 seconds. But we're starting to do them a little bit longer so people can see the pictures. But go ahead and check those out. They come out every Tuesday in the evening as we get them. I still have some I have to go take pictures of. But our radius is starting to move out with everything opening up a little bit more. So we should be able to get some really cool ones this year. This card that sold on Etsy was Lake County Medical Center, a hospital. Anytime you see medical centers, make sure you get Veterans Hospital, Monroe Hospital, Alexander Hospital. Make sure you get the word hospital in there. I know one guy, it's a big postcard collector. He collects all the hospitals and on there. So this is a linen card. It's a full card. Look at the blue. Now there is a little spot on the top there. Now I probably wouldn't disclose that. It's just at the top and it would show in the picture and people would see that. But it's an unposted linen card and there's no writing on it. This sold for $4.45, free shipping. It's going to Callie in Trustville, Alabama. Thanks, Callie. If you check out our other videos, we're getting a pretty good catalog started here at SMPostcards on YouTube. If you enjoyed this channel, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon, be notified when we put new videos up. We appreciate you watching and hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks.